So I do have some slides that Phil is going to help me run, and I'm going to share my son's story first, and then I'm going to share my story. Um, so this is me. I'm a mum of three, married to Gareth. I have a sales, marketing, and real estate background. I joined Life Vantage in 2021, and I'm actually the mum of an autistic and ADHD child, very passionate about natural health. Yes, please, Phil. So, 5 years ago, this was our family. My son, Freddie, he was very overwhelmed. He was 6 years old. He had a lot of meltdowns, a lot of struggles at school. He was always chewing his clothes, he had really terrible eye contact. And at the time, we were going through the process to get an autism and ADHD diagnosis. I had done a lot of things previously, like craniosacral therapy. Work with a kinesiologist to help with his gut. I felt really quite desperate. I used to I guess I joined all the Facebook groups, autism and ADHD, trying to look for something that could help him. And I didn't really find anything on there, and I just didn't have any hope, really. A friend of mine actually told me about NRF2 activation, and I watched a webinar. So I'm going to show you what I saw in this webinar because it was, I would say, a light bulb went off for me. You go on, Phil. So this webinar was a guy called Marco who was in the States, and he had done brain scans on autistic and ADHD children. He had done this because he was helping his own two sons. This is how he got into this. And he had brain scans of children before the activation products. Now, if you look down the bottom, you'll see the first red circle with this Z score of 12.7. So that means our brain should be at 0 as typical. Okay, this is a 9-year-old boy. His brain is literally at 12.7. It's on fire. It's a very busy brain. 10 months later, you can see on this next slide here, his brain, the Z score was down to 4.5. I saw this and thought, this is incredible. What have I got to lose by trying this? I'll show you the next picture as well. This is another child's brain. So this child's brain is actually negative. It's in the blue. Remember, it's supposed to be at 0. This is negative 4.9, 14.9. This child's brain was basically shut down. He was you can see his age, a 14-year-old male. He's a non-verbal autistic child. 10 months later, look at the difference in that brain. You can see the Z score, 2.3. So when I saw this, I thought, what have I got to lose? And I'm going to try it for my son. So we started the NRF2 activation, and the changes we saw in Freddie were the following. Okay, we actually had, we saw less meltdowns. We saw he stopped chewing his clothes, his eye contact improved, sensory overwhelmed really helped. And then we actually got this amazing email from his teacher. Now, this was actually after we added the Axio in. You can see he started participating in group learning, his friendships were improving. This is a child that used to hide under the table at school. This is a child I would dread my phone ringing and I'd see it with school and thinking, what has happened now? His eye contact improved. He was able to regulate his emotions and started being able to communicate better. I go on to the next page. So this sort of started happening. Now, the thing with the NRF2 activation, it goes to work in the body where it needs it most, okay? So you don't see everything all at once, but things like the eye contact improved. He was calmer and more happier. He actually told me that his brain doesn't feel like it's on fire anymore. So that is huge. And that was just with the NRF2. Then we added into the Axio 18 months later, got that email from the teacher, and I'll just show you also what happened with his handwriting. Now, the teacher sent me the email because she was like, something's going on with Freddie. And I said, well, I was going to email you because I've been giving him something different. So she was looking through I was looking through his handwriting book. She's like, come in and see it. Have a look on the left at his letters and how he was forming them. So I was flicking through, and after 2 weeks, Look at his handwriting. Look at the size of the E's, the S's, the G's. Like basically the Axio is really good for the brain. It's like nutrition for the brain. And it just helps switch it on and helped him focus at school. So can you imagine for it, I think he was 9 at the time, how you would feel as a child that was before hiding under the desk, brain on fire, to like the fire out in his brain, being able to concentrate on his schoolwork. The difference was incredible with him. So the next one. So now I'm going to talk about me because my friend told me about this. She said to me, Rach, you should start taking it too because you've been under a lot of stress. And I had been, but I was so worried about Freddie. Like I was Googling at night how to help him. At the time when I got introduced to activation, I was breastfeeding. I had a 9-month-old, a 2-year-old. I was living on sugar and caffeine, trying to get through the day. I was very tired, exhausted. I had crazy PMS. I was 41 at the time, and I was just a nutter around that time. I had dermatitis, my hands would flare. Um, and I wasn't worried about myself because I was worried about my son. But I started taking it and I had no expectations. But my PMS went, I'm like so much calmer. I'm a better mum. I'm more patient. I don't get the dermatitis flares anymore. And then end of 2024, we got a new product came out called our Mind Body, which is a natural GLP-1 activator. So that was me on the left and the pink, that was 2024 beginning of 2024 doing a 21-day challenge. I had tried to lose weight. I had tried fasting, exercise programs. I tried it all, but I just had the worst sugar cravings. I had the worst food noise. I would eat the kids' Easter eggs. I would eat the Christmas chocolates. I would eat the Halloween candy. Anything was in the pantry, I ate it. I ate when I was happy, sad, bored, tired, anything. Just straight to that pantry. Could not stop. I started taking the Mind Body. It turned off my food noise. It stopped the sugar cravings. Honestly, I feel like my brain has been rewired. I do not do what I used to. Like, I do not go to the pantry all the time looking for food. It doesn't bother me. There's a full bar of chocolate in my pantry. It's been there all week. That's incredible. I would normally scoff that, but I have not touched it. I have no need for it. And the weight came off. It wasn't by trying to push harder and be better and eat less and all that. I did naturally eat less because I wasn't eating the sugar. I did start eating more protein because I wanted more protein, and the weight came off. And oh my goodness, it was amazing. These products have really changed my life and my family's life. So I'm very, very thankful for them. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Rachel. That's so cool. It's actually nice to hear your story. And just going to ask you one question. As a mom, now that your son is more balanced, if that's a better word we want to use, how did you feel from that perspective? Because a lot of moms out there all worry about everybody else and not themselves. How does that change you from that side?
Oh, it's like a weight that was on my shoulders that I was carrying that has lifted. I used to worry about him all the time. When he got his diagnosis, I really cried. I was like, his life is going to be so much harder than his brother and sister. And I felt no hope. After activation, I have so much hope, and he is incredible. So he has, because he doesn't have all this inflammation going on, it's let out the best of him. He's so quirky and clever, and he's taught himself how to play the guitar, and he's got a great sense of
Wow.
humor. He's got great friendships. It's just let him be the awesome kid that he is.